Okay, so trust you're doing well. So today we're just gonna be continuing from where we stopped last time. As regards the setup and the PHP syntaxes introduction. So I believe by now you already have Laravel running. So let me just find the one that I set up as well last time, so we can see what that looks like after installation, and which I believe should be the same as yours. So I'll just find that and then share. I just check PowerShell. Just check PowerShell to be sure where I installed it. Check send documents. One installation. Okay, so we've got the file on here, so I need to open it and see what it looks like. I'm just trying to launch the. Let's see what this looks like. Right. I'll definitely probably be running a Laravel instance already, so it might not run on localhost 8000. But let's see. So I'll share my screen now. Right. VS Code. I don't know why this thing takes like a long time to process some of the screens that we want to share. So let's try again. Okay. Yeah. Excuse me. So I've had this is my installation now, and this is how Laravel is going to set up on your device. However, there are a few things that needs to be done before we get going. So, like I said, I have XAMPP running. So, if you have also done that, you would have the same thing. I have on my screen. So, for XAMPP, we'll just start the two servers or services that I mentioned, which is the Apache and the MySQL. So, what you then need to do after then is there's something we call environment variable file. So for every fresh installation of Laravel, there's an environment file that needs to be configured. Why are we configuring this file? This file is what helps us speak to database and maybe some other external resource that we use. So that file doesn't, even in that file, you would have a lot of configuration, secret keys, public keys inside of it. And because of the sensitivity of that data type, you won't be exposing this is the file, but this is not the original file. This one is always the example that comes by default with Laravel. But what we're just supposed to do is to click on this and then right click and duplicate or copy or do one thing. So you can duplicate, you can copy and save as, or you can just open. When you open, just Control Shift Save. So it will save it as ENV file, but don't call it as example. Save file as let me just all files, yeah. So save file as all files, then just call it .env file. No, I don't want to call it .example. Okay, let's just do it directly from here. So I'll just create the file from here. New file .env. This thing you could just easily do it on the command line, but let's not go through the ID. So we'll just copy what is in this example because essentially what they are telling you is this is your configuration file, but you can't use the .example one. Just create your own, which is the env itself. You'll see that the icon here shows settings, just to let you know that that's actually a configuration file and save. So now there are a few things we need to do before we start up our app. So one of the things is, okay, let's name the app. Let's name it AFMP. This one you might be wondering what that is. That's just follow of our mentorship program. So let's just call it a backend class. Sorry, backend sessions. Right. So this is backend session. This is most likely the app we'll be using all through this whole learning period. And then EM environment is like where we are running our system or our project. So we are currently running locally, so it's fine to just leave it in local. And then app key will generate app key with a command. I will start my command line to create command line, new terminal. So because we need to fill this data, so we'll say PHP artisan key generates. So you need to have PHP already running, which I believe everyone now has. So you do PHP artisan. This PHP artisan is the raw command for Laravel, and every other action will now follow it. So what do I want to do? I want to generate a key. So I'll say key column generates. So when I do this, it says OpenStream, no such file directories. Okay. Like I said, this computer is not my main computer, so I don't really use it for these services. Pages and key generates. That should work though. So I'm just trying to read what it's saying. Field to open stream, no such file directories at PC given answer on the line. Oh, is my vendor not installed? Ah, looks like my vendor is probably having an issue, which is weird. So let's do one thing. Let's do um, composer install. Let's just do composer install. Let's see what exactly is happening. Yeah, we're just going to have to run this again because I don't know why he said that he can't find my autoload file, which is what I need for this to run. I'm just waiting for this to run. Really. We'll have to wait for it because we can't proceed without that. Hopefully this just works once. Sure, please. Yeah. Where did you ask it to install? So did you create a new Laravel app? Okay, so let's oh, okay. So you need to see the way you will go about it is create a folder on your computer, maybe in your document file or something. Just create that folder. And every time you want to, maybe I should show you how to navigate to, like, after you create a folder. So, okay, okay, okay. Oh, how you open it in VS Code? Okay, so for you to open it in VS Code, yeah, for you to open it in VS Code, so you open launch VS Code, right, and say open. So it will ask you to select the folder, right? So let me show you. So you go to file now, right, and then say open folder. Can you see? So when you click open folder, navigate to, you can't see my folder now because I don't know this way. So just navigate to where that folder is. Yes, right, good. Okay. I don't, you're not supposed to have this issue with the auto load thing. I'm not sure what exactly happened with this, but we'll see as this is going on. But for you, right, yes, you will follow the same process except this composer install. If your own doesn't have that issue, I believe it shouldn't. It's just because this computer, there's a space in the naming, and I've not really had time to crash it down and restart it. But that's by the way. So yeah, so for you, you will do the app name, right? Environment, leave it the way it is. But we need to generate a key, right? So we need to generate a key, which is what we are doing with this. And for you to generate a key, you will do PHP artisan key generate. That's what will generate the key for you. So if you just, yeah, I'm not sure why it's not generating the auto load files, but however, we'll figure it out as time goes on. I'm not sure why this is just stuck, to be honest. You don't need to open PowerShell. Just go, so on your window menu, yeah. Let me expand this maybe to show now. Right. No, don't do that. So go to terminal. Can you see the So when you're in VS Code, you use terminal. So go to terminal, new terminal. Yes. Okay, looks like it's done. Now let's try to generate the key. Brilliant. So immediately you do, can you hear me? So immediately you do PHP as a key generate, you would get this key field this way, and which is what we need to proceed. So please, the composer installed is just a command, but I don't think you should experience the same issues on your end once you installed Laravel. I'm not sure why that happened, but that's fine now. That's all resolved. The way to just quickly resolve some of these things is just to do composer install or composer update. So that's fine. And don't forget what composer is. Composer is the package manager for kind of like PHP Laravel. So that's why we're using composer. Right. So yeah, so now we have the key. Next thing is to connect it to database. So at the moment you see that it's using SQLite or SQLite. Um, we don't need this one. This is just like a document object sort of DB that comes default. So now that we've got XAMPP running, means that we have MySQL database which we will now create. So how do we go about that? So come here and say undo all this. All this data stays the same. This can stay the same. You can change it whatever you like. However, we'll call it backend class backend DB. So you can call your DB backend DB. Right, let's just give it backend DB that way. Right, backend DB. So let's go and create this DB in MySQL. So you also need to learn this as well. So next thing is before we start running the app, right? So we go to MySQL and start um, and create a DB. So for us to do that, don't forget to access MySQL. You go into your browser. You know, you already started the MySQL using the MySQL app itself. So you go into your browser and do local hosts my PHP admin or PHP admin. Right, so you do that PHP admin. So you should bring in all the database you currently have. If you don't have any, it should be empty. I think my computer is just deciding to run slow, which is quite weird. It's supposed to be a very powerful computer. Maybe it's my browser, anyways, because Chrome does consume a lot of memory or RAM. So let's see which one goes first. Okay, looks like this one moves faster. So let's use that one. Yeah. Right, so I mean, these are currently kind of like the DB we have. So first thing to do, we won't create any data table yet. We'll just create the DB. So this is the DB name. Just create it. That's what you just do. Just put the name and create. Don't do anything yet. Just leave it. No table, no anything. Just leave it this way. So we have this, and we go back to our VS Code. Go back to our VS Code, and in our environment variable, we already named this, right? When you install MySQL or XAMPP rather, the default user that comes with your DB, you can change it if you like, but the default user that comes with your DB is root. So you just leave root that way, and then DB password is empty. Except if you want to just tweak those, you can go into your DB and tweak all these things if you wish. So now that is all set up, right? And our Laravel app should be able to run. And to run your Laravel app or to serve your Laravel app, you say PHP. Don't forget, like I said, PHP artisan is the generic command. However, the action is then what comes after. So PHP artisan serve is going to serve this on a URL. So it's going to serve it on URL localhost 8000. I told you 127.0.0.1 is the same thing as localhost. Don't forget, that's your computer. So for trying to run this now, we'll go to our browser and try to open that up. So I'll share the view of my browser so you can see screen window. Right. Okay, so if we open another tab and paste in that URL in, let's see what it looks like. So we should see a Laravel 11 landing page if everything we have done is correct so far. If everything we have done is correct so far, we should see a Laravel landing page. Yeah. So it says database file path backend DB does not exist. Ensure this is an absolute path to the database. Connection SQLite. Okay, so we are not using this SQLite, so we need to go back and tell it that no, we're not using SQLite, we're using SQL, MySQL. So we'll come back to screen. Let me share back that environment variable, right? So let's go to DB. Go to DB and connect that again. So we'll say our connection is MySQL. Yeah. Okay. So we just disconnected this. Now you need to activate and say MySQL. MySQL. You could hear people say SQL, whatever. It's the same thing. So MySQL, but for this, because we have taken action on the environment variable, which is more like resetting the whole thing, you need to restart this service. So to stop this service, you do Control C and then start it again by doing PHP artisan serve. And then once you do that, your app should be ready to run again. So let's go back to our screen to preview what we are sharing or what we are running. Okay, so if you are experiencing the same issue again, I'll tell you just do PHP, sorry, not PHP, just do Composer install. Composer install. I'll type it again on the screen in a second, please. No, yeah, Composer space install, just Composer install. Yeah, sure. So now we've restarted service. Let's refresh the page. Our DB should connect now. Okay. So next thing it's saying is that backend DB sessions not found. Now it has seen the table, but sessions is not found. What is sessions? You might be wondering. Why is sessions supposed to exist in the first place? Right. So when you set up Laravel app, it comes by default with some migration tables. Right. Those tables are required for it to by default start working. So every time you now set that up, after you have done this environment connection and everything, we're going to go back to the app now in the same terminal and run PHP artisan migrate. We will understand more better later what migrate means. So because the app is currently running, if I stop this, it will stop the service on my browser. So I won't stop this. I'll just open another terminal. Just click plus on your window and then drag this to the side so that you have the two side by side. And why I need to do that is because if I do PHP artisan migrate, right, it will send all the migration table or all the migration scripts that has been created here. I'm not analyzing the folders yet, but I'll just show you what these are. I mean, the migrations are where it is looking for sessions. So by default, Laravel wants these files or these DBs. So it wants the users DB, it wants the cache DB, and you'll see the sessions will be somewhere here. Yeah, I'm coming, just looking for sessions now. Amazing, yeah. So you see the sessions here. So it is looking for this session. So for us to have that, we'll then have to run PHP artisan migration. So what does that do? It will run all these migration scripts and create the DB for us. So first I'll run this script. After I run this script, I'll take us to the DB so that you see that. Let me show you first. Let me show you the DB so that you know that at the moment the DB is empty because we created an empty database. So at the moment it is empty. So if you go to our database now, right, it is empty. This is the backend DB. There's no table. There's no table here. and Laravel is looking for the table users to get sessions and the table um, jobs and some other default tables. So which is what it's trying to tell us here. So what we then do is go back to our script, go back to our script, and then run that PHP artisan migrate. So immediately we run that migrate. I'll show you. Right. So immediately we run artisan migrate, that table will be created. So you will see that the three jobs are run, users, cache, and jobs. They have been run. So we'll come back to the browser, right, and go first to our database to see what has happened to our database. Um, Go to browser, show you that. I'm refreshing this page. Immediately you see all the default tables that are supposed to come, right? And you can see the sessions that is being looked for. So if I refresh this now, our page should be fine and working. Brilliant. So this is Laravel ready for us to use. I'll have to stop here today because this is enough for us to have something to try to do ourselves. And once you can do this, then we'll proceed to other things. I'll explain some of this in future or in the next session. I'll also explain what we then begin to do with this going forward. However, at the moment, this is our landing page. Let me see whether it has a register screen. It should probably have one. No, it doesn't have. Okay. I've not used Laravel 12, but that's fine. Right. So this is what it's come with, and this is the DB that's created for us. So let's get going. Are there any questions? Yes. Serve, not server, serve. Yes, PHP artisan serve. So is your composer install running now? Okay, so three steps for you to take. Three steps. You're going to take three steps. First step, composer install. If you encounter the same error I encountered, right? And that should solve your auto load issues. If that's currently running, then you're fine. You don't need to run that again. Once it completes, run this next one. You would run PHP artisan key dot generate column generate. Right. I'll probably put all those entry. I'll send them back to you. Right. Or put it on the group. Yeah. So once you do the dot key generate, or sorry, dot key dot generate, not dot now column, key column generate. Yes, it will generate the key that is required in your environment file, and then you're fine. So next thing to do is PHP artisan serve, right? If you run PHP artisan serve, you might have an issue because your DB doesn't exist. So like I said, if you follow this video again, which I'll make available almost immediately, right? If you follow this video again, what you just need to do is create your DB, follow the process in the video, create your DB, then put your DB details into the server, or sorry, into your environment file, and then run the PHP artisan, oh sorry, yeah, PHP artisan migrate. When you run PHP artisan migrate, it will run all the migration table into your DB, and then you will now run the last one is PHP artisan serve, and your files should, your landing page for Laravel should show up. Yes. When your MySQL was no, so you changed. Oh, sorry, I didn't say you. We changed this. I'll show you. Yeah, that's it. Right. So these are the things we did. First, like I said, give your backend app a name, right? This name. Then leave it as local. For us to get this, run. It has to be hash. Sorry. Okay. Run PHP artisan key generate For this one, this is the other one we're talking about. If you scroll down, you'll find this file here, right? Have you created your env file from the example file? Did you do that already? Okay, right. So next thing is that's my SQL. Change from, you will see SQLite there, SQLite. Change from this to my SQL. That's what you should do. So this is what you made there by default. Change it to this. If you already have it, it's fine. And then this file will be the database name that you create in your create this in your local hosts slash my PHP admin, right? And then the password is just by default root, and let's still leave it as this for now. Do you get? But you need to create this backend DB first. And then what I said you will now run after all this is done, yeah, is PHP artisan migrate. Yes. So once this is done, once key is generated, run PHP artisan migrate. Yes. So once you do that, it will then sync. You have to have copied your DB first to ensure your DB has been created. Then this runs, and then start your file with start server. So run. What do I do? Start. Let me just do that. Run PHP artisan serve, and you would have your app running. Okay.